They say if you follow the sound of children laughing in the briarwood after sundown, you never come back the same. Some say you never come back at all. Deep in the Appalachian Mountains, hidden by thickets of thorns and lost time, lies Brioda, ghost village shrouded in mystery and mourned in silence. Some believe it was erased on purpose, that it was a blight on the land too dangerous to be remembered. But memory is a tricky thing. It seeps into roots, hides in shadows, and speaks in echoes. And some echoes are desperate to be heard. Few maps show Briarwood, and even fewer speak of what happened there in 1910. Most who lived nearby chalk it up to superstition. Old mountain tales meant to keep curious kids from wandering too far. But when Harper Lane, a documentary filmmaker with roots in eastern Kentucky, heard a whispered reference to Briarwood at her grandmother's wake, she couldn't let it go. Her grandmother's dying words, "Don't go where the bell tolls after dusk," haunted her. Armed with a camera crew and the blessing of a skeptical university grant board, she set out to find the lost village, unaware that the silence of Briarwood wasn't emptiness. It was warning. Harper wasn't just chasing a ghost, town she was, stepping into a story that had been waiting a long time for someone to finish telling it. Harper dug into the archives, finding only scattered reports of Briarwood's existence. It was a coal mining village that vanished practically overnight. A mining accident was the official record, but journals from a schoolteacher named Elsie Wren told another story. Children disappearing weeks before the cave-in, townsfolk hearing lullabies in the trees, and a forest that crept closer each night. The village had been built on sacred Cherokee land the early settlers were warned to avoid. Elders called it Nunahey ground, home to spirit children who protected the forest, but greed overrode caution. The mine dug deep, too deep. The final entry in Wren's journal read, "The children are not gone, they are waiting, they are hungry." Harper and her crew, Marcus, the sound guy, Tasha, her assistant, and Joel, the local guide, hiked in under a waning moon. The forest thickened. Unnaturally, the paths distorted. Joel mentioned that hunters avoided this area, that compasses spun wild here. At dusk, they found remnants. A rotted swing set, rusted lunch pails in a schoolyard buried in vines, a bell tower leaning like it wanted to whisper secrets. The woods were too quiet. Even the birds didn't sing. The group set up camp near the ruins of a general store, where jars of candy still lined the shelves in sticky disarray. Joel unearthed a child's shoe beneath the collapsed porch. It looked fresh, too fresh. That night, no one slept. The first night, Tasha heard laughing. Not the playful kind, but high-pitched hollow laughter that echoed around their camp. When they reviewed footage the next morning, there were blurry shapes darting behind trees child-sized, pale, quick. Marcus wanted to leave. Harper insisted on one more day. That afternoon, they found the schoolhouse. Inside, tiny handprints covered the windows from the inside. A phrase scratched into the wood beneath the blackboard. "We are still in class." Harper interviewed Tasha on camera, asking her what she saw. Tasha's eyes were hollow. "They have no mouths," she whispered. That night, their tent zippers moved on their own. The campfire hissed out. A small voice from the darkness asked, "Can we come inside?" Joel disappeared that evening. One moment he was collecting firewood, the next he was gone. No sounds, no tracks, just gone. They found his flashlight stuck upright in the ground, like a grave marker. Tasha broke down, claiming she saw a child, with hollow eyes watching from the trees. Marcus wanted to run, but their GPS malfunctioned and the forest had changed again. They circled back to the schoolhouse without meaning to. Harper filmed every second, her hands shaking. In the schoolhouse basement, they found drawings, hundreds of them etched into the walls with nails. Stick figures with wide black eyes. A son that cried blood. A teacher with no face. As they stood there, a bell rang. But there was no bell tower nearby. Just the sound and the laughter that followed. Harper entered the mine, alone. She felt drawn. The others begged her not to go. Deep inside, past collapsed shafts and rusted tracks, she found a crude altar of toys, bones, and old schoolbooks. The air was thick with whispers. Children appeared, not solid, but echoing spectral. "We waited for recess," one said. It never came. Harper realized the village had sacrificed them, locked them inside the mine to stop whatever darkness. They had awakened, but the children had become that darkness. Their spirits twisted by betrayal, hunger, and fear. As Harper backed out, something grabbed her arm's small cold fingers. She screamed, then she ran. Behind her, the walls of the mine seemed to close in, and she could hear the chanting of forgotten nursery rhymes ring around the rosy ... Only Harper and Tasha emerged from Briarwood. Marcus was taken during the night. The last footage showed him talking to someone unseen, saying, "Okay, I'll come play now." He walked into the forest barefoot, smiling. Back at the university, Harper presented the footage. Most dismissed it as hoax or hysteria. But some knew, some whispered. And late at night, Harper still hears that laughter in her dreams. She never edited the footage. The memory was enough. Tasha stopped speaking altogether. She moved to Arizona and took a job cataloging museum artifacts, avoiding children entirely. Harper started painting. Every canvas ended up the same. A schoolhouse in the woods. Windows lined with faces that weren't quite human. Today, Briarwood remains untouched. Nature reclaims it slowly, as if unsure whether to bury or protect what lies beneath. They say, if you listen closely at twilight, you can hear a school bell ring where no school stands. And if you follow the laughter, you might not return. Or worse, you might bring them back with you. And somewhere, deep beneath those hills, the children wait. Not for rescue, not for revenge, for recess, for playtime, for you. In the heart of the Appalachian Mountains, where mist clings to ancient trees and shadows dance with secrets, lies a tale that has haunted generations. A story whispered around campfires, of a place where reality blurs and the past refuses to stay buried. This is the legend of the hollower place, where the line between the living and the dead is perilously thin. Some say the very air there can turn your thoughts against you, whispering regrets and memories you never had. Few who enter speak of what they find. Fewer still return, nestled deep within the Appalachian range, beyond the reach of modern maps. And GPS signals is a secluded area known only to a few as the Hollow. Locals speak of it in hushed tones, warning travelers to steer clear. They say the land remembers, that it holds onto the pain and sorrow of those who once called it home. It's the kind of place that doesn't just remain forgotten, it demands to be. Our story begins with a group of friends, Jake, Maria, and Benabon explorers, drawn to the allure of forgotten places. They had heard rumors of the Hollow, of its abandoned cabins and overgrown trails, and decided to document their journey for their YouTube channel. What they found was far more than they bargained for. What began as an adventure became a descent into a realm where time fractured, and the past bled into the present. The trio set out early one autumn morning, their backpacks filled with supplies and camera equipment, the excitement palpable. Jake, the group's leader and videographer, had done extensive research, gathering scraps of information from obscure forums and local legends. He believed the hollow might hold the key to one of Appalachia's great unsolved mysteries, the disappearance of the Elder Grove settlement. Maria, level-headed and curious, brought her notebook and a healthy dose of skepticism. She had a passion for folklore and history, but didn't believe in the supernatural. Ben, ever the joker, was there for the thrill. He mocked the idea of ghosts and ancient curses, but secretly hoped for something he couldn't explain. As they ventured deeper into the mountains, the paved roads gave way to gravel paths, and then to dirt trails barely wide enough for their SUV. The canopy above thickened, filtering the sunlight into a dim green glow. Birdsong faded, replaced by the rustle of leaves and the distant howl of the wind. They reached the edge of the hollow by late afternoon. The entrance was marked by a decaying wooden sign, its letters barely legible. "Welcome to Elder Grove." Beyond it, a narrow path wound through dense forest, leading into darkness. They paused, filming the sign and the oppressive atmosphere beyond. A chill ran through them, but none spoke of turning back. As they explored, the friends discovered remnants of a once thriving community, collapsed homes, rusted tools, and a dilapidated church standing defiantly against time. Inside the church, beneath layers of dust and debris, they found a journal belonging to a woman named Abigail, dated 1892. Her entries painted a vivid picture of life in Elder Grove, the harsh winters, the close-knit community, and the creeping dread that began to seep into their lives. The handwriting became more erratic with each passing entry. Abigail wrote of strange occurrences, children disappearing without a trace, eerie lights flickering among the trees at night, and a growing sense of unease among the townsfolk. The townspeople had turned on each other, blaming witches, outsiders, and eventually themselves. One passage stood out. "The hollow hungers. It takes what it pleases, and we are powerless to stop it." Maria copied the entries into her notebook, her skepticism waning with each chilling word. The air in the church seemed to grow heavier the longer they stayed. Outside, a crow cawed 3 times, sound so sharp and sudden it made them all jump. They decided to explore more before nightfall, but kept glancing over their shoulders. That night, they set up camp near the remains of the town square, using the church as a windbreak. As darkness fell, the forest came alive with unsettling sounds. Whispers carried on the wind, almost imperceptible, like voices just out of reach. Footsteps circled their tents, though no one was there when they checked. Maria saw flickers of movement in the trees, and not animals, but figures too tall and still to be natural. Ben vanished during the night, his sleeping bag torn open and empty. Panic set in as Jake and Maria scoured the area, calling his name. They found his camera near the edge of the forest, its final footage showing a shadowy figure lurking just beyond the firelight, its form shifting and unnatural. Jake reviewed the footage again and again, hoping for an explanation that never came. The forest seemed to shift around them, paths changing and landmarks disappearing, as if the land itself was working against them. At one point, they returned to the same clearing 3 times, despite walking in opposite directions. Hunger and fear gnawed at them. Jake started mumbling in his sleep, repeating Abigail's words, "The hollow hungers," desperate and disoriented. Maria stumbled upon a hidden cave behind a thick curtain of ivy. Inside, the air was damp and cold, the walls adorned with ancient symbols and offerings of bone and cloth. The floor was littered with melted candles and old coins, as if generations had tried to appease something within. There, she encountered the spirit of Abigail, her form faint and flickering like candlelight. Abigail revealed the truth. The hollow was a place where the veil between worlds was thin, a nexus of sorrow and loss. The townspeople, in their desperation, had made a pact with an ancient entity that resided in the land, offering sacrifices in exchange for prosperity. But the entity's hunger grew insatiable, consuming the town and trapping their souls in an eternal cycle. Abigail, one of the last to resist, had hidden the journal in hopes that someone might one day find it and break the curse. She pleaded with Maria to perform a ritual to sever the entity's hold and bring peace to the lost souls. Maria asked why. Abigail simply said, "Because you still remember love." Armed with knowledge and determination, Maria reunited with Jake and shared what she had learned. Together, they gathered the necessary items for the ritual: candles, symbols, and a piece of Abigail's journal. As they chanted the incantation beneath the full moon, the forest erupted in chaos. Trees groaned and cracked, the ground trembled, and anguished cries filled the air. The entity manifested, a towering figure of shadow and malice, its form writhing with the faces of those it had consumed. Its eyes glowed with the sorrow of 1,000 trapped souls, and its scream shattered branches and hearts alike. Just as it surged forward, a blinding light enveloped them, banishing the darkness. When the light faded, the hollow was silent. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, and the path home was clear. They never found Ben, but they believed his spirit, along with the others, was finally at peace. The church had collapsed. The sign at the entrance now read only, "Welcome." Jake and Maria shared their story, warning others of the hollow's dangers. Their video went viral, drawing both believers and skeptics. They knew some would dismiss it as fiction, but they hoped to honor the memories of those lost and prevent others from falling into the same trap. They never returned to the Appalachian Mountains. Sometimes, Jake still dreams of the hollow of Ben's laughter echoing through the trees, of Abigail's sorrowful eyes. Maria moved to a quiet town in Maine, and no longer writes in her notebook. They keep in touch, bonded forever by an experience no one else can understand. The Appalachian Mountains are filled with beauty and mystery, but some places are best left undisturbed. The hollow remains, a testament to the consequences of forgotten sins and the resilience of those who seek redemption. And somewhere, deep within, something still watches. If you found this story chilling, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more tales from the shadows. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let us know if you've ever encountered something unexplainable. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe. And remember, if the wind ever whispers your name in a voice you don't recognize, don't follow it.